Okay, so what? Why are you saving an auto recovery file? So I figured out what we're gonna do. After you watch these two videos, that you're gonna get one of the biology AS Bio course books. It's the one that says AS Bio. It is not the one that says IGSY Bio. So double check that. You're gonna go to chapter 7 and fill out those notes to make sure you fully understand plant transport. So let's finish up this part. So how does the plant get HCO2 and H2O? Carbon dioxide is going to come from diffusing through the stomata. Hopefully you remember where the stomata is. It's underneath the plant, underneath the leaf. There's little holes. Stomata. Stomata. Sunlight's being absorbed by the chlorophyll, and water's going through up the soil, absorbed through the roots, and going up. So here, takes this picture, makes it here, diffused through here, water through osmosis, and sunlight. So make sure you know diffusion is only carbon dioxide, osmosis will only be with the water. So water is taken up via osmosis through the root hair cell. The water is carried by the xylem to all parts of the plant as if the water was sucking through a straw. The water moves from the root to the top of the plant through transpiration. Transpiration is the evaporation of water at the surface of the mesophyll cells, followed by the loss of water vapor from plant leaves through the stomata. Meaning, as water is lost, transpiration produces a tension, which is a pull, from above, creating a water potential gradient in the xylem, which draws cohesive water molecules up. So it goes root hair, root cortex, xylem, mesophyll cells, and think about like if you are trying to get a smoothie or trying to even drink, it's you pull it up because you're trying to get it into your mouth. You're pulling it up from the bottom and it's going up. It's the same principle. Layers in plants. So you have the upper epidermis, you have the mesophyll layer, the low epidermis. Remember, epidermis is like a skin. The xylem is going to be these more hollow areas. The folium is going to have these like plates that look like dots. The folium is also going to have a side cell that is going to contain a nucleus. All of this will be considered a vein. So the spongy layers it's kind of going to look like a lot like a sea sponge, where the holes would be the cells and everything else is just empty space. And the palisade layer cell is next to each other, cell by cell by cell by cell. It's very thickly packed. So I want you to see if you can label these. Obviously, it's a little bit harder because you can't write on it, but you should be able to identify what this is, what that is, what these cells are, what this category is compared to that category is, what this is compared to that. At least try. And on not Thursday, but next week, we'll go over this. So xylem carries water and minerals. It's like a drain pipe. It's made of hollow dead cells that joined end to end. Runs from the root of the plant up through the stem. It should say stem, not stream. My bad. And branches out into every leaf. Xylems have no cytoplasm, no nuclei. Again, just think of them like drain pipes or straws. That's all they really are. Their walls are made up of ligands, which is strong enough to keep plants upright. Now the phloem tubes, those are going to carry organic nutrients, which the plant has made. Many cells join together while still having their end walls. Thus, they form sieve plates. Those are the little holes that I mentioned earlier. Sieve tubes have cytoplasm, but they do not have a nucleus. The sieve tubes have a companion cell, which has a nucleus, and that's what's going to provide those resources. So this is hollow and empty. Phloem tubes have cytoplasm, so they're not hollow nor are they empty, but they don't have the nucleus inside of them. They're going to have like a little companion cell. So again, here is the xylem. It just looks like a lot of straws. And I don't think I have a picture. Here's the folium, where this is a companion cell, the plate. I was hoping I would have a better picture. I'll find a better picture for you guys next time I pop in. Pop in. Next time I'm there to teach you, which will be Thursday. But I'll find you a better picture next week. So locations. In a root, the vascular bundle is in the center. So here's a root. This is called our vascular bundle, otherwise known as our vein. So in the root, you're going to have the cortex, the xylem, and then the phloem is going to be on the outside. You're going to be able to find the phloem a lot easier because it's going to be a lot more like condensed. The xylem is going to be a bit more spread out because, again, it's like empty straws. And then when we go into the stem, these actually are going to pull apart, and now they are on the side, with, again, the phloem being more on the outside, the xylem being on the inside. And now the cortex is more in the middle compared to here. So this is a picture showing the different ways it kind of moves depending on where it's located and where you're grabbing a section from. So the xylem is in the middle, phloem's around it, xylem's in the middle, phloem's around it, xylem's on top, phloem's below. Again, you should always be able to identify the xylem because it's very hollow tubes. Translocation. Organic food materials made by plants like sugar is transported via the phloem. It is carried from the leaves to whichever part of the plant needed it through translocation. Translocation is the movement of sucrose, amino acids, and phloem from regions of production to regions of storage or regions of use for respiration or growth. You should keep in mind. Oh God, I'm sorry. I tasted something gross. In the phloem, things can move up and down. In the xylem, the movement is only upwards. So it has to go, it's constantly moving up because of that tension, that water tension, because because of transpiration. You're constantly sucking upwards. Translocation, it is where the need is. If I need to store, I'm going to store, usually in like potatoes or anything that's like the tubers, carrots, such as a giant root. But that's where all that storage is. Fruit is actually a great example of storage too. When I need to use it, I'm going to pull it out from there. Some other important factors. Plants also need minerals. So nitrogen and magnesium are key things. The mineral salt will be nitrates or ammonium ions. They're absorbed through the soil. They're used to make protein after combined with glucose. If you don't have nitrogen, you're going to have a deficiency that forces you to have weak growth and yellow leaves. Magnesium ions. Magnesium ions are taken in through the soil. They're used to make chlorophyll. If you have a deficiency in magnesium, you're actually going to see yellowing between the veins of the leaves. So both of these do result in yellowing. Just these will be overall yellow leaves. They'll be more limpy. Magnesium is just specifically in the veins. When variations occur, so transpiration is a special example of evaporation. So any factors that affect evaporation are going to affect transpiration. You have temperature. So the higher the temperature, the faster the rate of transpiration. You have humidity. The lower the humidity, the faster the rate of transpiration. Light. So the thing with light is if the stomata is open in light, the stomata will open for light. So if you have light, photosynthesis is occurring, transpiration is going to be high. It's going to close when it's dark, so transpiration is greatly reduced. But it really depends on light gets played up a lot with temperature, because if it's too hot, no matter how much light you have, your stomatas are going to start closing because you're going to be losing stuff, specifically water vapor. And water supply, if the plant is short, stomata closed reduce transpiration, and they conserve water. So this plays a lot with light and temperature. Humidity can too. Again, often goes with that diffusion. And at this point, because it will be water vapor. It's not really water, but it's always going to go to that high-low. If there's a higher concentration on the outside of the plant, then yeah, the water vapor is going to stay into the plant. If anything, it might take in more. But if the higher concentration of water vapor is inside the plant, and like it's really hot, like it is in Arizona, that temperature is going to be pulling out all that water vapor, and so then you're going to shut down your stomata, which is actually going to impact a lot of your photosynthesis. Water vapor loss. Water moves out of the mesophyll cells, forming a film of moisture over their surfaces. Water evaporation occurs from this film. This vapor gathers in large air spaces. Water vapor will then diffuse through the stomata to the dry air outside the leaf. So the same way how like we sweat and our skin and the sunlight evaporates it on our skin, it can happen very similarly in plant cells, but it's just going to be on the inside the mesophyll cells. Fertilizers. When soils lack minerals, ions, fertilizers are added. Fertilizers are chemical compounds rich in mineral ions needed by plants, helping them grow faster, increasing size, and becoming greener. There are disadvantages to having fertilizers, specifically excess minerals and chemicals can enter nearby river and they can pollute it. We talked a lot about this in IGZY Bio. This is called eutrophication, which creates a layer of green algae on the surface, causing a lack of light in the river, thus preventing the aquatic plants to perform photosynthesis. If you want to look up a picture of eutrophication, it's this really dense green algae. It's really interesting, but really damaging to the environment. And that's the end of the show. So I'm going to go back to this slide. So I want to make sure that you guys behave. Make sure you finish or attempt to finish the notes. I will be back Thursday. And we will review, and you'll take your quiz next Monday. Nope, we don't have school next Monday. Haha. You will take your quiz next Tuesday. Next Monday, I'm hopefully going to be well enough to be doing other things. Okay. Behave, guys. Thank you.